Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. I'm your host, Tom Nappy, and this is our debut show in the 5:30 p.m. time slot. Joining me on the show today, we'll have Jared Keene, Andy Barron, and Steve Watson to talk some NFL. That'll be later on in the show, but right now we are going to get you up to date with the latest in Hopkiinton Hillers Sports. So without further ado, here are the latest happenings in Hiller Sports. On September 6th, the fall season opened with Hiller Boys Soccer taking on Norwood in the pouring rain. Hopkiinton opened the season in style, taking down the Mustangs of Norwood 5-1. Later that evening, Hiller Girls Volleyball battled Bishop Feehan, and a big crowd was in attendance. Steve Sweetapple and Matt Clancy on the call.
Ebert, Fallon, Graber sends that one to the back row. Go outside. That's long. Hopkiinton takes the first set, 25-19. Oh, good serve. Nice ace. Schulte just tormenting the Hillers. Girls are going to switch sides. Hopkiinton loses that set, 17-25. Kyrie serving, 4-point lead for the Hillers. Still set point. Carraza.
Come on, Clara.
Marabito. Oh, well done.
Schulte,
that's a carry. Yeah, that's
carry.
it.
Yeah.
Hopkiinton takes the third set, 25-20. Outside to Forbes, cross court. Ebert's there. Hardenbrook, Graber. That's it! Go! 25-22. Hopkiinton takes the fourth set for a 3-1 victory.
Hillers took the win in the debut of their new head coach, Emily Sweetapple, 3-1. On September 7th, Hiller Golf improved to 3-0 with a 235-239 win over Dover Sherborne. Hillers Field Hockey also had their first game on Wednesday, September 7th versus Norwood. In the first quarter, both teams exchanged goals. She comes up midfield. Breezing by defenders. Sends it towards the box. Centering pass. Out in front. And there's a shot and a score! Aaron Halloran puts it in for the Hillers. Good takeaway there by Strachey. Norwood gets it into the box, out in front. There's a shot, deflected, loose ball. I don't think the keeper can find it. Comes loose again. Good battle for it, and it's popped in. I believe that was Bridget Conley who was able to knock it in. Or Souza will send it up. That's too bad. That was a great pass by Souza earlier to Perlov. A little bit of contact, and Perlov ties it up. Camille Perlov with a beauty of a shot. Both teams exchanged goals in the third quarter, and the score would remain 2-2 as the Hillers pick up a point in their first game of the season. On Friday, September 9th, Hiller Boys Soccer fell to Holliston 4-1 at the turf fields. The loss knocked the Hillers down to 1-1 on the season. Girls Soccer picked up a road win over Holliston on Friday, September 9th in their first game of the season, 4-2. A great start for Coach Skiba and crew. Also that Friday, Hiller Field Hockey battled Holliston on the turf. It was scoreless until the second quarter. Sent over. There's a shot, kicked away. And there is a ringer! Into the circle, shot, it's in! And we're knotted up at one apiece. Moave Garvey with the goal. It remained a 1-1 game until the fourth quarter. Perloff sends it up. Backhander kicked away. Perlov on the secondary shot. It's in! Kylie Locke with the initial shot. A good save by the keeper, but Perlov is there to make it a 2-1 Hillers lead. Camille Perlov scores both goals as Hiller Field Hockey improves to 1 win and a tie on the season. The Hillers collect 3 points in their opening week. Hiller football started off their season with a big road win over Wayland. They took the season opening game 16-6. Paul Litcher found Sam Pantera for the go-ahead touchdown in the third quarter, and some stellar defense propelled the Hillers above Wayland. Here in this opening quarter as Avery Ravitch tees it up, and we are just about ready to go. The crowd is pumped, a full house here tonight. The student section is packed. They are ready. Wally, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Hillers football on HCAM. First home game of the season. Here we go. And it's a liner up the gut, and it'll be taken from the 5-yard line over to the far side. Dylan Terra, the captain, with a return up to about the 20.
Third and about 6 here. That's where the Hillers need to step up, get Algonquin off the field right away.
Takes the snap, and he's going to roll to his right under pressure. Throws up the sideline. It's batted, nearly intercepted. An incomplete pass. Getting the hand on it was Charlie Petruni. One back to receive for the Hillers.
Yeah, not a great snap, but he gets a good roll on that punt. Yeah, real Algonquin roll. It's going to go all the way down to the 15.
So Petruni lets it roll, and we'll see the Hillers offense for the first time this season. And not a long possession at all. It was actually exactly 1 minute.
That's just what I thought.
End over end, and it's taken from
short
the
punt,
42.
good coverage.
Certainly was. And out of the gun, back to his left. Trips receivers to his left.
Yeah, stacked up on the left in a bunch formation.
Takes the snap, and he's going to take it himself. Here he goes towards the first down and more up the sideline before he's finally brought out of bounds at around the 25. And they'll hand it off to the left back. Up the middle he goes.
Pemberton says it's a touchdown, but the referee, there it is.
Yep, they give him the touchdown, a 3-yard touchdown run. Dylan Terra have been good against the run. They weren't good against the run last season, but certainly these hurry-up offenses gave them trouble at times. As this will sail end over end, near side to about the 30, and here's the return up the middle.
There he goes.
It's going to be a big one.
There he goes. He's going all the way. All the way.
Here he goes to the 20, the 10, and into
it's
the
a touchdown.
end zone. That's a Hiller touchdown. What a response. John Sanda, the junior. Actually, that was 16 seconds of possession time. The snap, an extra point, end over end. Right through goes Ravitch. It's 7-6. Hillers take the lead at 4:54 left to go in the first quarter. And that is going to be the last play of the quarter. So some ups and downs in this first quarter.
Hurry up, and they're just going right between the tackles. It's really successful.
And this time it's going to be play action, rolling to his left, and ran out of bounds at around the 10 is Pemberton.
10 seconds left, clock still moving.
And this time the Hillers defense is going to come up a little short on the stop. They thought they had the stop, so Dylan Terra gets the job done and gets into the end zone. Pemberton under center, run up the middle. Did he get in? Looks like he might have been short.
They stopped him.
No, he did not.
They stopped him.
So it will remain a 12-7 game line. Looked like that was Noah Coutone on the kick that time, and it's going to be returned up to about the 38 on the return with Seamus Murphy. But the Hillers are not even going to have enough time to run a play. That is going to do it for the first half. At the end of the first two quarters, it is Algonquin 12, Hopkiinton 7. Line it up. Will they punt or will they try something tricky? They're going to try something tricky and it's not going to pay off. They handed it to Owen Elworth and he was dragged down by Colby Lavalette. And it'll be a turnover on down.
Yeah, and he lost 5 or 6 yards on that play.
The snap. Looks to his right. And now going to take it himself. Sees some space up the left side to midfield. To the 45, to 40, 35 to 30. And he's pushed out of bounds at around the 25. A big pickup by Robert Litcher. And he will throw the screen over to Petruni. And Petruni fighting his way towards the goal line. And it looks like he's going to be stopped just short. But the Hillers in business. They'll start off the fourth quarter at the 1 yard line with a chance for the go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, they spread it out here this time.
Yeah, and they're going to put Litcher out of the pistol. He'll roll to his right, throws to his right, and it's complete. Sam Pantera on the 1 yard touchdown reception, and the Hillers have taken the lead.
That's a great play.
The 2-point conversion. Litcher out of the pistol takes the snap. Rolls to his left, throws up the middle, wide open. Guess who?
Yep.
Sam Pantera. And that'll make it a 3-point game. Second and goal from about the 5. And that is Mulcairn in at quarterback. Wishbone backfield, hands it off, up the middle, and into the end zone goes Owen Elworth. Lasted quite a while for Algonquin. They're going to go for 2. It's going to be a pitch to the right side. It's dropped and recovered by a Hiller, so the conversion is unsuccessful. Litcher looking up the middle, and he connects. He finds Petruni. Up the far side he goes, and he is dragged out of bounds at around the 28, 27-yard line. A big pickup right off the bat. Litcher lined up out of the gun, Perazza in the backfield. They will run it. Back goes Litcher, throws to his right.
He's got it.
At the 10. Here he goes.
Touchdown.
Into the end zone. Touchdown. Sam Pantera. A 21-yard touchdown reception. Unbelievable. The snap, the kick, and it is good. Hillers take the 4-point lead, 22-18. They need a score here on this drive if they want to win this game, as the Hillers lead it by 4. Out of the pistol, a throw up the middle, it's intercepted! Picked off! And on the interception, that was Carlos Linton, who has had huge defensive plays tonight.
Definitely a not give up win for them tonight. They like I said, they looked like they weren't in it, especially at the end of the first half. They didn't look like they were going to be able to stop Algonquin, and they come out and win the game.
A tremendous win by the Hopkiinton Hillers, as it was 15 fourth quarter points. That does it. And they take down Algonquin 22-18. Hello, everybody, and welcome into this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. And joining us on the show, we have Andy Barron from IFM 101.3. We have independent reporter Jared Keene, and we have the voice of Nipmuc Warriors and Milford High School football and HCAM contributor Steve Watson. Guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm just great. Just great. My picks aren't great, but I'm great. What a wild week 2 we just witnessed. Unbelievable endings, unbelievable upsets, unbelievable everything. And I don't know about you guys, but I get the feeling that this season is going to be a lot like 2008, where pretty much every team has a chance at a playoff spot. I don't know if there's any dominant teams except maybe TB12 and the Bucks, but there's really no one that is showing pure dominance. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to throw in that conversation as well. They're certainly showing dominance, but besides those two teams, I don't know, guys. I think everything's up for grabs this year. I mean, we just saw Dallas with their backup quarterback beat the defending AFC champions from last year. We just saw the Rams almost lose to Atlanta, but it is Atlanta, so of course the Rams won that game. We saw Miami have a ridiculous comeback against Baltimore. We saw the Jets have a ridiculous comeback against Cleveland. We saw Detroit beat Washington, but I guess there's not really a big surprise there. We saw Jacksonville absolutely dominate Indianapolis. Let's see, what else did we see? We saw the Giants beat Carolina. New England looked great against Pittsburgh, which was very nice to see. And you saw Houston give Denver a game. Crazy week, guys. Any thoughts? Jared, go for it.
Yeah, and I think you just said it, you got to toss the Raiders in there as well. That Raiders loss to the Cardinals was awful. Just allowing, the Raiders really folded there and allowed the Cardinals to get back in it. And I mean, Kyler Murray making a ridiculous play to score with no time left on the clock, and then making an insane throw to get the 2-point conversion, to tie it up. That was insane. I mean, again, one of the crazier weekends or days of football I think we've seen in a long time. I don't really have any other thoughts. It was just, I don't know. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Almost.
Oh, I know. It was nutty. Andy, what about you? Any thoughts about this crazy week 2?
Yes, so crazy. All I'm going to say is the Colts are horrible.
Yep.
Horrible. I mean, I picked the Jaguars, but I didn't pick the Colts to get shut out. That is a disgrace. I mean, come on, man. You got to be kidding me.
The number one running back in the league, and you get shut out by the Jags.
You get shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is just horrible. Your season cannot get any worse than that. And is Kyle Shanahan happy that Jimmy Garoppolo is his quarterback again?
He looked pretty good. And you know what? I think they're relieved that with this bad injury to Trey Lance that they have a backup like Jimmy Garoppolo that could just step in. So I'm sure he's actually probably a little relieved that with Trey Lance hurt, Jimmy G is your guy, because it could certainly be a lot worse than that. Steve, what about you? Any thoughts on this wild week 2?
Games are not over until the clock hits 0. Some teams found out the hard way. So I don't know which one of the 3 chokes yesterday was the most disgraceful. Was it Cleveland? Was it Vegas? Was it Baltimore? They're all pretty bad. I'd say probably Cleveland. Won a 2-touchdown lead against the Jets at home, under 2 minutes left. That's just an abomination.
I think I would agree, but I think the Raiders is a close second. I think the Raiders are a real close second there.
I forgot about them. Didn't Baltimore have like a 4-touchdown lead?
Yeah, the Raiders were in cruise control. The Ravens blowing a 3-touchdown lead at home in the 4th is a disgrace as well.
Awful.
And Steve, Tua throws 6 touchdowns.
Oh,
my God! And
Baltimore, that's a tough place to play.
Yes, it is. And I think you have to also say too, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that is a dangerous duo. And now it actually makes the Patriots loss in Miami was horrible. The Ravens defense looked worse than us.
Yep.
Yeah, the pass, I wouldn't worry about the pass defense. The pass defense is going to be solid. Yeah, to hold Miami to 20, whereas Baltimore let out 42 to them. That makes our performance look good in comparison. Of course, Baltimore comes here for the home opener on Sunday. So,
yep.
And good to see the Pats win. That was a big improvement.
It was a good win.
Good win. Miami. I said the whole offseason, if you can just come home 1-1, first 2 games on the road, it's not easy having the home opener week 3. You got to wait a little while for it, but you come home 1-1, it's exactly as we expected. So onward and upward, the Ravens.
Yeah, that was definitely a good win. That was a win that you needed. You have a very tough schedule coming up. So that was certainly a big win. You got Baltimore next week in your home opener, and they're going to be pretty angry after what just happened against Miami. So certainly a huge win for the Pats in week 2. Although
I was also up against Tua in fantasy this week. He had 51 points in my league. I'm going to lose because of that. 51 points.
That is
man.
unfortunate.
And I must say, I love seeing the Colts lose. Not just lose, get crushed by Jacksonville. The Colts are my least favorite team, and I love seeing them lose. So every second of that.
Let me just say this too, like Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, Jim Schwartz, Tom Petranoff, and Scott Pioli. What do they all have in common? They actually had the Browns going in the right direction, and then they fired all of them. And after seeing that debacle yesterday, you can just see the look on the Browns' face like, you've got to be kidding me. We lost to the Jets. Like, in the way they lost. That franchise, honestly, this is crazy, and I'm going to say this. I think the Lions are going to win a Super Bowl before the Browns.
With the way that they're playing right now, the direction of the two franchises, that's possible.
That's just
it's
unbelievable.
Steve, we might have lost your audio, buddy. Might have to try re-signing it. Cleveland should be feeling pretty bad right now. They had the lead literally the whole game. And one of the smartest fantasy football moves I made, by the way, I started Jacoby Brissette instead of Jameis Winston.
Nicely done.
Yes. I felt like it could have really backfired, but I just figured the Saints-Bucks are going to be a defensive game. And Winston's not all the way healthy. He was playing with fractured discs in his back or something like that.
Yeah.
So I am glad that I went with Brissette. He got a lot more points than Jameis Winston. And how about them Bucks? Saints have given Brady trouble for quite a while, and the Bucks come through. And we talked about Brady's off the field issues a little bit. Is it going to affect them? And I think we got a clear answer in that week 2 win for the Bucks. But here's
Mike Evans now suspended a game because of that tussle with Marshawn Lattimore. That was ridiculous, by the way. That was insane.
Well, you know what he said after? He said, I mean, that's Tom Brady. No one pushes Tom Brady. Not under my watch.
Yeah.
I respect it. It was.
I'm now without Mike Evans in fantasy for a week, though, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, he's suspended for a game, and they're playing Green Bay. That's not an easy matchup for them.
No, that's going to be a tough one.
But that whole thing yesterday, that was just stupid.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
And why did the Saints start Jameis Winston? The guy was hurt. He couldn't play. Yeah. What are you doing? He shouldn't have even been playing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm glad I didn't play him in my fantasy.
Well, they would have started Andy Dalton. I didn't even know he's on that. That's who
he's on the Saints.
He's on the Saints now. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then they got what's his face? The guy who runs a lot.
Taysom Hill,
Taysom Hill, yeah. Well, having Alvin Kamara out, that totally screwed the Saints over because that guy is a beast. That would have made a monumental difference if he was.
I mean, he's a difference maker. He goes out, he can make a difference. Yeah, I mean, when you lose him, when you don't have him.
Those teams don't like each other. I mean, when they play next, it's probably gonna be another fight in the game. I mean, they just don't like each other.
Oh yeah. That's a great rivalry, Tampa and New Orleans. It's really turning into one of the best in football. Well, our picks they haven't been so great, but there's been a lot of upsets. So what can you do? Mine have been especially bad. So we'll let you in on a little secret. We're recording this show on a Monday, so we don't have all the results in yet from the Monday Night Football games as we're recording before that. But I can't tell you through the records through the first 14 games of week 2. I was 5-9, which is just awful.
Ouch.
Mike was also 5-9. Andy was 6-8. And Jared and Steve, 8-6.
Not bad.
Finishing above 500.
Taking the Pats, baby. Taking the Pats.
Tom,
I had no reason to take the Pats this week, and it was just one of those weird games where I was like, this is one of those weird games the Pats should lose, but they're going to win, and
yeah. Well,
Tom, we shouldn't have taken the Bears. That was a bad pick.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad pick. That was awful. Never did I think that with Steve taking the Giants, Jacksonville, and Detroit, that those were going to end up being 3 wins. That was pretty amazing.
Good job, Steve.
That's money.
Yeah.
It's too bad you didn't parlay that one.
I know, right?
That was sick.
Well, and the Texans covered too. You make some money on that game too. That was like a 10-point Matt, I'm telling you guys, let me just say this real quick. Some of these teams aren't as good as we thought they were. I mean, the Broncos and Raiders do not look good. The Chargers and the Chiefs are better than them right now. It's not even close.
The Bengals. The Bengals offensive line can't protect anything.
Yeah, they're going to end up getting Burrow hurt.
Yeah.
That offensive line is atrocious.
And quite frankly, it was atrocious last year, too. And all the talk was how it was improved. Well, where is it?
Yep.
Right. I mean, they were trying to improve it through the draft, which is always risky. You're better off getting some veterans in there that you know what they're going to do on an NFL field. They went the draft route, and so far it's still early. It hasn't panned out very well. So the overall records, as we get into our week 3 picks, I am in dead last at 11-18. Awful. Andy is in 4th at 13-16. Mike is in 3rd at 14-15. And Jared and Steve tied for 1st at 15-14. So folks out there
really
watching, I think this shows you that the best of us are one game above 500. So you probably shouldn't listen to us or do the opposite of what we say. But let's get
or listen to Steve pick Jacksonville, the Giants, and Detroit, and I'll hammer him.
Yes. We hammered him bad last week, and you ended up being right.
Yeah.
Touche, Steve.
I think I picked Detroit as well, though, in fairness, but yeah.
Yes, I think you did. But on to week 3. Hopefully I'll have a better winning percentage this week. Let's start off with Thursday night football, Pittsburgh at the Cleveland Browns. After the Browns just lost to the Jets, I don't think they have a chance in this game. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jared, who do you got?
I'm going with Pittsburgh. I don't think you can really pick the Browns here, although this, again, maybe one of those weird games the Browns might bounce back and win. But I think I'm going to go safe here and go with Pittsburgh, which is weird to say because Pittsburgh has Mitch Trubisky at quarterback, but yeah.
Well, it's Mitch Trubisky against Jacoby Brissette. And Brissette didn't play bad last week. I don't really blame it all on him. The Browns defense was terrible. That was part of it. Brissette, I think, did have an interception that wasn't good, but that Browns defense just could not get off the field. Joe Flacco destroyed him. He actually scored, I think, more points in fantasy football than any other quarterback, which is unbelievable.
No, Tua had 51 points in my league. That's insane.
Flacco was up there. I'll have to look it up. I mean, this is a different scoring system in my league, but
true, yeah.
Because Steve does some funky stuff with the league, but he had a lot of points. Speaking of Steve, who do you got, Steve?
Pittsburgh. With Cleveland, how all that went down yesterday, I think that's going to send them to a spiral, and that's just an absolute disgrace to lose the way they did. And quite frankly, they should be 0-2. They shouldn't have beaten the Panthers either in week 1. So Pittsburgh's defense, I think that they'll drive the Cleveland offense absolutely insane.
All right. Pittsburgh for Steve. Who do you got, Andy?
I just want to take a tie on this. These two teams are just so pitiful to watch. I mean,
come on, Pittsburgh. They won in week 1. They got a nice win there against who was it? The Bears? No,
Bengals.
They beat the Bengals. Yeah,
that's a nice win. Pittsburgh looks way better than Cleveland, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go with the Steelers here.
All right, and Pittsburgh actually did give the Pats a bit of a game. They did. But hey, the Pats defense, gotta give them credit. They were sensational. All right, moving on to the 1:00 games on Sunday. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. I don't trust Carolina at all. So far this season, they have lost to Cleveland. They have lost to the Giants. And even if Jameis Winston doesn't start, I think they're still going to lose to the New Orleans Saints. Andy, who do you got?
Taking the Saints. Carolina just looks lost. I mean, and the Saints defense is really good. I mean, they only gave up 20 points to Tampa Bay. And just Carolina just doesn't impress me at all. I think the Saints win by at least 10 points.
All right, Steve.
I'm going to go with the Saints. The Panthers, like you said, they just look lost right now. And I think that's going to push them one step closer towards a coaching change, or they might blow things up, trading away McCaffrey, something big. If they keep going like this, I don't see many folks lasting the whole season down there.
All right. Saints it is. Jared.
Is Kamara out? Here's my pick. I think if Kamara is out, I'm going to take the Panthers.
No conditions.
Come on, man. Kamara's a difference maker. All right, fine. I'll go with the Saints.
All right.
I mean, if Kamara plays, obviously he's a difference maker. But yeah, I don't know if he doesn't play. I'd be tempted to pick the Panthers.
It's Saints across the board, so you're not going to lose any games. All right, our next pick, we got the Houston Texans at the Chicago Bears. I am very unsure of who to go with in this one. Houston, they had a pretty good run against Denver. They led a lot of that game. So on that note, let's start with Steve. Houston at Chicago.
I'm going to go with Houston. They actually haven't played bad the first 2 weeks. They can hang around in games, and as long as they don't make too many mistakes, they can pull it out. And Chicago is very mistake prone. They weren't even in that game last night against Green Bay. And if last week against San Fran wasn't a monsoon, I don't think that they would have won that game either. There's still a lot. Both teams are in a rough spot right now. So it is kind of a toss-up, but I'm going Houston here.
All right. Andy, who do you got?
Tough one to pick. This very well could be a 9-6 game. I just both offenses just really can't score. But I am going to take Chicago since they are at home this week.
All right, I like it. Jared?
Can I pick a tie? Can I pick like a 9-9 tie?
It very well could be a tie.
Give me a break, man. These two teams are atrocious. This is by far the hardest game to pick because these two teams are just atrocious, man. Awful. If I have to pick, I'm going to the Bears because they're at home. But, I mean, I don't really want – I don't know.
Well, part of NFL picks, we're going to have to pick some terrible games because that's what we do.
Yep.
That's true.
But I've put your Bob tie card in there too. So
yeah,
if it ends at a tie, you'll get some points. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. I think they're slightly better than Houston offensively, and they're at home. So I'll take the Bears, but that is not a game I look forward to watching. I'd also take the under on that game if we're.
Yep. Oh, definitely hammer the under.
Yes, 15-12 kind of game, all field goals.
Watch now; it's going to be like 49-42 or something ridiculous like that.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, Kansas City at Indianapolis. Is anyone going upset here?
No.
Not a chance.
Chiefs in an absolute blowout.
I'm not picking against Kansas City until they lose or until they play really poorly.
Yes, I'm not either. No way. Kansas City should run away with this game. And that means Indy would be what, 0-3?
0-2-1.
0-2-1.
Oh, right, the tie.
0-2-1.
The
Tie.
They should be 0-3.
Oh, boy, here we go. Baltimore at New England. I'm in last place. I'm not picking first for this one. Jared, go ahead. Baltimore at New England.
Gosh, actually, this is kind of tough.
It's very tough. That's why
I will take the Pats at home, fired up for their season opener. I think the win this weekend will give them some confidence. I don't really like this pick because Lamar Jackson is really dangerous and showed it obviously again against the Dolphins. But yeah, I mean, I'll go with the Pats in the home opener.
All right, Pats it is.
The defense is playing well, but yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson's difficult to stop.
Steve, who do you got?
Patriots. I think the defense has what it takes to slow down Lamar Jackson. Not going to shut him down, but if you can limit him and not make mistakes or make less than the Ravens do, then I think that they take it. It's going to be close, though. I think it's going to be a great battle out there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, I do think it's going to be close. Andy, who do you have?
Boy, Jared and Steve are very good at convincing. I almost before yesterday's game, it was Ravens all the way, but I don't know. I mean, you're coming home for your home opener. I think the Patriots got some momentum here, and the Ravens have historically struggled at Gillette Stadium. I mean, you look at the past. I mean, it's John Harbaugh's had meltdowns over a faulty equipment or this and that or this rule or that rule. I'm going to take the Patriots. I think it's going to be a very good game. It's going to and Lamar Jackson is head and shoulders above Mitch Trubisky. We all agree with that. But I don't know. I think the Patriots showed a little something last week. They're going to pull this one out.
All right. I like it. I think this game could certainly go either way. I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle, as it usually is between these two teams. But we haven't seen this Pats defense against real speed yet. And I don't know if I trust it against real speed. So I'm going to go Baltimore here. I think Baltimore is going to take it in a very close battle. Plus, I'm in last place, and I need to get back in.
Hey, Miami has some real speed, man. Tyreek Hill's one of the fastest guys in the league. That's real speed right there.
Yeah, and look what they did to the Pats. So that's why I think Baltimore.
I'm just saying they've already faced real speed.
Oh, that's true.
If they win this game, if the Patriots win this game, you might start getting my attention a little bit, because this could be a really big win. And then if you go into Green Bay next week and win, that's going to get a lot of people's attention. No doubt about it.
I'll be pretty shocked if they win both of those. That's going to be tough. They could do it, I think, if Mac Jones can't make mistakes. He can't have turnovers. That will crush them in a game like this. He had a pretty bad turnover against Pittsburgh, but, it's Pittsburgh and they got Mitch Trubisky, so it didn't come back to hurt him. But when you're going against Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers, turnovers will come back to hurt you. So he has to be very careful with the ball, for sure. But give me Baltimore this week. And
by the way, where's Kendrick Bourne still? I mean, I will say Jacoby Myers and Nelson Aguilar looked pretty good, but where is Kendrick Bourne?
On the bench in Matt Patricia's doghouse.
Oh, he played more this week.
A little bit more.
A little bit, not much.
He did, and guess what? Every time he was in there and they threw to him, he caught it, and he had a good gain. So, and Aguilar, it was nice to see him shine as well. He played great this past week.
He looked good.
I believe he was the top target.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar and Jacoby Myers. Mac Jones is developing a good rapport with them. These guys are getting it done on the field. That was a phenomenal play Nelson Aguilar meant. That speed of his, where was that last year? Because this is like a different player on the field. And he fights and he battles for the ball. I mean, that was impressive. And I also like the way how the Patriots finished the game. They wore the Steelers defense down. Their running game, Harris and Stevenson just totally took over that game in the fourth quarter.
Agreed.
That was something I was impressed with.
Yep. Harris was another guy on my fantasy football team. I was very happy I started. So that panned out well. All right, moving on. Cincinnati at the New York Jets. Normally, this would be a game that we probably all just pick Cincinnati, and maybe it still is, but Cincinnati's 0-2, and the Jets are 1-1. I'm going to still go with Cincinnati. I mean, they're the defending AFC champions. I think the Jets' win last week was a little bit fluky. They were playing the Browns, so that doesn't say much. So give me the Bengals in this one. I think they hop back on the winning track. Jared, who are you going with?
Bengals by at least 2 touchdowns. They're going to catch fire this week and go nuts.
All right, Andy.
I'm taking the Jets. Did you learn your lesson from last year?
Nice.
The Bengals screwed me in the knockout last year, and they're going to do the same thing again this year. This team is free falling fast. Jets are going to pull it out.
All right.
Love it.
Steve.
I was saying Bengals, but I think it'll be closer than you think. The Jets did beat them in New York last year, and that's where the matchup is this year.
That's true.
For the Bengals, you can't set 0-3. All this talk They're going to win multiple Super Bowls. They're the most talented in the league. Please, they're 0-2. Okay, they had one good year last year. Let's be honest about it. But I do think they win this game.
All right. Steve, the football thesaurus, takes Cincinnati. Okay, we're going to save Las Vegas at Tennessee and Philly at Washington for post-show pickings. Let's move on to the 4 o'clock games. Jacksonville at the Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers. They had kind of a bad game against Kansas City, although they did make it close in the end. They have far more talent than Jacksonville. Jacksonville got a nice win against Indy, and I say nice win because they pretty much shut them out. Or was it a shutout?
Yeah, they shut them out.
Yeah, so that was a good win. Good team effort. But give me the Chargers. I have a hard time believing Jacksonville's even on the same level as this Chargers team. Andy, who you going with?
Chargers. I can't pick the Jaguars here. I mean, they had a nice win last week, but they're not on the level of this Chargers team. There's no excuse. The Chargers should roll in this game.
All right, Steve.
Chargers. Nice win for the Jaguars yesterday with the Colts. The Chargers are just better, and they've got more rest, too, in this game.
All right, Jared.
Chargers. Yeah, again, good win for the Jags. Chargers are just better.
They're just better. I like it.
Yeah.
That's true. They are just better.
They might not even have Keenan Allen, and I bet they would still win, but yeah.
Yeah, and that defense, watch out for that defense. They're going to improve as the season goes on and they develop chemistry. Rams at Arizona. This is going to be a good game. Rams almost blew it to Atlanta last week. And Arizona, big win against Vegas. I'm pretty torn on this one. I'm not sure who I'm going to go with yet. So on that note, let's start with Andy.
Taking the Rams. I still think that the Cardinals, I don't think they had any business winning against the Raiders. But they did. I think the Rams are going to start to figure it out here. There's still a lot of talent on this team. They're still the defending Super Bowl champs. But I think it will be a close game. Rams and Cardinals is usually close, but I'm going with the Rams.
All right, Jared.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams, but again, I think the Cardinals keep it close. I think Cooper Kupp has a big game for the Rams, but again, that's really no different from any other week. I mean, the guy is just immense. He's ridiculous.
All right, Steve.
I'm with the Rams. I think they're simply better right now.
Yeah, I almost thought about going with Arizona.
Do it. You won't. Do it.
You're daring me now, huh? You know what? Arizona. Let's go, Cardinals. Arizona in a high-scoring affair. The Rams, they have a bad loss this week to Arizona. I got faith. Arizona's at home. I think they take it. And I need a win really bad. Atlanta at Seattle. Seattle, what happened to them? They look great in week 1, beating Denver, and then they go into San Francisco and look horrible. So which Seattle is the real? Is it week 1 Seattle or week 2? I think it's probably the week 2 Seattle. I don't think they're going to be very good. They're extremely young. I think Atlanta is well overdue for a win, and I think they take a high-scoring affair in Seattle this week. Although I am a little nervous about this pick. This will probably be close. Seattle's very good at home, and they have the 12th man, and I think that played a big role in their week 1 win against Denver. But give me Atlanta for the upset. Andy, who you going with?
Taking Seattle. I can't pick the Falcons, and plus this is their second game on the West Coast. That's a tall task. Seattle's just a totally different team at home, and they'll get it done this Sunday.
All right, Steve.
I don't know what the Falcons. I think the real version of the Seahawks is what you saw out in San Fran. Yeah, they were good in week 1, but that's only 1 week. Falcons did mount a comeback on the Rams. And they should have beat the Saints. Of course, they took away a 16-point lead in that game. So this is another one. This match is going to be ugly. 2 teams who probably won't be playing until late January. But you got to pick someone, right? So Falcons.
All right. Steve's got my back. Jared, who you going with?
Actually, this is another tough game to pick. Oh man. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons. I really want to pick Seattle here, but I'm going to go with the Falcons. I don't know. Yeah, this is a weird, ugly game.
I'm a little bummed since I picked Atlanta. I was hoping we'd have opposite picks, but okay.
Geno Smith versus Marcus Mariota should be a good matchup.
Doozy.
It's like backups, but they're not.
God.
Two what should be backups starting as starters. It should be interesting. I don't know what to expect in that game. That's going to be a wild one.
It's going to be a weird game.
Yes. You're going to see a whole lot of running, a whole lot of quarterback keepers in that game too. Green Bay at Tampa. You know me. I never doubt Tom Brady. Give me Tampa, baby. Tampa Bay Bucks get the job done. Brady, I think the issues that he's having in his personal life are actually going to help him on the football field because he'll take out his anger with throwing touchdowns against the Packers, although it is going to be a lot tougher without Mike Evans. But if anybody could do it, it's Tom Brady. And I still think Green Bay, they lack receivers. They beat Chicago. I don't think that's that big of a deal, but they lack weapons too. So Brady might be down his top weapon, but Green Bay still, I think, even with out Mike Evans playing, I think Green Bay still has less weapons than Tampa does. So I'm going to go Tampa here. Jared, who do you got?
I'm going to go Green Bay here. This is a weird one. But again, I think Evans being out, you don't know if Godwin's still out as well. And again, Tom has some guys to throw to, but I think it's a tough matchup for Brady. And I think Green Bay at home. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, give me Green Bay.
If I get that win over you, there's so going to be you done messed up Ron memes going around. Andy, who do you got?
Going with Tampa. I'm just not picking Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady. I know he's got some guys that are out, but he'll just find a way to get it done time and time again. And taking the Bucks.
Steve, who do you got? Green Bay at Tampa.
I've picked against Tampa twice so far. It hasn't gone well, so I'm going to go Tampa.
Oh, great. Now they're going to lose. All right.
I just can't pick. I can't cheer for Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. He is one of the most insufferable quarterbacks I have ever seen. Like, really. It's just like he's so easy to cheer against. I mean,
I'm not cheering for Rodgers here, man. I just think it's a weird matchup for Brady and the Bucks. But yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to go with who you think's going to win. All personalities aside, I'd say.
Hey, if the Bucks win by like 3 touchdowns, you guys can let me have it. But yeah, I don't know because I rarely pick against the Bucks. But
I don't think anyone's going to win this game by 3 touchdowns. I'd be very shocked if that happened. All right, San Francisco 49ers at the Denver Broncos. There is not a chance. I'm going, actually, I don't know. They played pretty good. All right, I got to think about this. Steve, you can pick first.
This is a tough one. San Fran, you got Jimmy G in at quarterback. Denver, honestly, has not looked good at all the first 2 weeks. I'm going to go with San Fran. They just look more coordinated, more organized. And, I think with Denver, they really expected immediate success with Russell Wilson. I think that's a bit much to expect when you haven't made the playoffs in 6 years. So you heard those fans yesterday that they were booing the living daylights out of that team.
It was bad.
The team's 1-1, and they're already fed up. So, there's a lot of talk about how good that division might be. Yeah, so far, not so great, unless you're KC or the Chargers.
All right. Yeah, I mean, well, San Francisco is kind of a tale of 2 different weeks. In week 1, they looked miserable with a bad loss to Chicago. And then in week 2, they looked pretty good. So you don't know who you're going to get. Maybe Jimmy G is the factor here in a positive way for San Francisco.
He knows how to win.
That's very true.
That's a no stats. The man knows how to win.
Yes, he does. He's not a big stats guy, but he does know how to win. That's for sure. Jared, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with San Fran here. I think this is, again, going to be another really weird game. I know Denver had a couple of injuries yesterday. One to Jerry Jeudy, one to Pat Surtain. Obviously, one of their top receivers and one of their top cornerbacks, if not their top cornerback. Yeah, I don't know. Denver's offense just looks awful. I don't really want to pick San Fran, but I'm going to.
All right. I like it. Yeah, those are two big injuries. Andy, who do you got?
Taking the 49ers. Jared said it best. His great analysis. The Broncos offense looks horrible. They look lost. Like this, if they don't make the playoffs, man, it's going to get real ugly there because the amount of money they have spent on this team, there's just no excuse. They don't look like they're ready to play.
I have to agree. They don't look very good. They've had some trouble. They almost blew it to Houston last week, but I'm going to go Denver. I think they put it together. I think this is a close game, and I think we see Russell Wilson put up some points and have the best offensive week of the season, at least to this point. So give me Denver in a very close one. Taking a lot of risks this week. I'm getting nervous now. All right, moving on to Monday Night Football. Dallas Cowboys at the New York Football Giants. So Cooper Rush and the Cowboys somehow beat the Bengals last week. I can't even explain that one. And the New York Giants, they got a nice win against the Carolina Panthers, and they are miraculously 2-0. I am very torn on this game. So let's start off with Jared.
I'm not picking the Cowboys, so I'm going to pick the Giants by default, I guess, which is weird to say because I think this, again, could smell a week where the Giants come back down to life a little bit, but I still don't believe in the Cowboys. No, I'm not picking the Cowboys. Awful.
All right, he's not picking the Cowboys. Steve, who are you picking?
It's out the presses, folks. The Giants are going to go off to a 3-0 start and beat the Cowboys next Monday night.
Wow. All right, Andy.
I never thought I would say it, but I'm taking the Giants. I think they're going 3-0. I don't believe in this Dallas team. I'm sorry. Another team you just so easy to root against. I mean, they're not good. I just don't think they're good. I know they won yesterday, but I like the Giants playing well.
Well, I think for the first time in show history, we are New York Giants across the board.
Wow.
I'm going
Insane.
with the New York Giants in this one.
Four Pats fans sitting here all picking the Giants.
I know.
I
feel terrible. I kind of hope Dallas wins now.
No, I can't root for the Cowboys. I can't root for the Giants. Oh gosh.
I don't want
You know
to
what the Giants do?
here.
If the Giants win this division, I mean, that is just going to be, oh my God. Like, that would be unbelievable.
I don't want to root for any of these teams, to be honest with you.
No. Not even close.
But I think this will be a close game. And, you know, what's going to be interesting to watch, does Cooper Rush give Dallas maybe some kind of better energy than Dak Prescott gives them? And, you know, I mean, that was a pretty encouraging win against Cincinnati last week with the backup quarterback. Maybe they just needed some kind of spark like this. But maybe they just fall flat on their face in the Meadowlands against the Giants. So we'll have to wait and see.
Let's face it, though. Dallas won that game because Cincinnati's offensive line is inept and allowed like free rushers every play pretty much.
That is true. Cincinnati's offensive line was terrible. Both of these teams in this Monday night game actually have better offensive lines. All right, so post-show picks that we'll be doing, and we'll post them on the HCAM website. once we pick these games. Buffalo at Miami, Detroit at Minnesota, Las Vegas at Tennessee, and Philly at Washington, since all those games involve somebody in action on Monday Night Football. But believe it or not, we are out of time, so we're going to go right to final thoughts. Andy, any final thoughts?
I don't know. Nothing really. I just can't wait I just cannot wait for this Red Sox season to get over. I mean, really, seriously, what an embarrassment this was this year. This team is so far away from winning a championship. They got a lot of work to do this offseason.
Yes, I have to agree. And I'm glad that we don't have to talk about them because we have football to talk about. But that team is an absolute train wreck. And I have a feeling their GM is probably going to be on the hot seat if he isn't let go this offseason. Who knows? Jared, any final thoughts?
Yeah, what is that guy doing smacking Kyler Murray in the face yesterday? Come on, man. Really? You see that rated? Like Kyler Murray went over and was celebrating after the game. I don't know if you guys saw, with somebody in the stands, and there was a group of like idiot Raiders fans next to them, and one guy kind of reaches out and smacks Kyler Murray in the face while he's celebrating there. That is ridiculous. Come on, man.
Well, they are Raiders fans.
Why would you do that?
That's what Raiders fans do. That was terrible, though. I hope that fan he should be banned from going to any games.
That was awful.
Ever. Yep, I have to agree. Steve, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to see how some of these teams who have to slow starts react. You know, do they get flustered? Do they come totally unglued? Like Cincinnati and the Raiders, high expectations. If the Titans lose tonight, that's a matchup of 1-2 teams next week. So I want to see who's mentally strong and who can just move past the slow starts. Some teams are not mentally strong, and they'll come totally unglued, and the whole thing will unravel on them. So, yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see how the next few weeks unfold for some of these teams who we thought would be good but haven't started good. And as for the Pats, looking forward to the home opener. Looks like Sunday's going to be a nice day in Foxborough, and hopefully we'll get the place rocking and beat the Ravens.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be.
I was at the game where Ray Rice took it 87 yards to the house.
That game was terrible. I will tell you that the best game I've ever seen was the divisional round win in 2014. We were down 14 twice in that game. Best football game I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
that was complete insanity.
That was something, no doubt about that.
All the stops in that game, and they did it.
All right, my final thoughts. Hopkiinton Hillers, great win over Algonquin, 22-18. They're 2-0 on the season. They'll be on the road next Saturday in Westboro for what should be another great game. I like what I'm seeing out of this team. They're more experienced than they were last year, and I think they are going to make a good run here. So I'm excited about this Hiller football team, and of course, we'll certainly have all the home games covered for you, airing live on HCAM. But for Andy Barron, Steve Watson, Jared Keene, I'm Tom Nappy. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, be well, and we'll catch you next Wednesday at our brand new time of 5:30 on HCAM's must-see HCAM TV. Goodbye, everybody.